Hey guys, it's Crypto Crazy here. Thanks for tuning in. Wanted to give you guys an update in terms of where things are at from a development point of view. Obviously, we have had communicated previously our process. Now, our process is quite clear that we were always needing to launch Pulsechain Safe, followed soon after by Fetch, and then finally Liquid Loans. Pulsechain Safe, so that you guys are aware, is actually on mainnet at the moment. It's private for us, but there's a few last-minute cosmetic changes we're needing to make to the front end, and then we'll look to make that available to the community. But it is on mainnet. Look, I must admit, converting Gnosis over to Pulsechain hasn't been without its problems. There's been a number of things that have caused us to sort of revisit and have to relook at certain things. Nothing that's not insurmountable, but a lot of the UI changes that we had to make. There are some problems with the UI if you're not careful. So we've had to take all of that into consideration. It's taken us a bit longer than what we thought. And I guess this is a consequence of launching on a change with not a lot of infrastructure. And obviously, you guys are aware of Telor and the need for an Oracle service, but fundamentally, we also needed to have the opportunity of using a multi-sig. And whilst we've done everything we can and it's all working perfectly, the user interface has been problematic. So we've managed to get through most of the issues with that. Nothing that would be of great concern, but from our point of view, we don't want to be deploying anything on mainnet that isn't quite right. So even though the contracts are there, there's a few tweaks and a few things that we need to do to the front end. But you guys will have access to that very shortly. Just in terms of where we're at with regards to Fetch, so all of the contract changes have been made. The audit is going through the contracts now. The intent is that probably I would expect within the next week or two, we'll have some feedback on the contracts and some feedback from Halborn. I should point out it's actually been an absolute pleasure to work with these guys. The Halborn team have been very professional, extremely professional in their approach. And more importantly, they've been very responsive. So from their point of view and from our point of view, it's been a really a good relationship that we have built with Halborn. We anticipate that we'll continue to use Halborn in the future. You can read into that what you like, but basically, we're looking to continue to evolve and develop. But obviously, at this point in time, the next thing that we need to resolve is to get the Fetch Oracle service reviewed, any feedback from Halborn incorporated. Fundamentally, that's a requirement for us to be able to launch Liquid Loans. Remember that there's any DeFi protocol that's out there needs to be able to obtain prices from various services. Now some will look at a centralized Oracle service, which is effectively just calling directly the price from an API. The risk with that is that if it's not decentralized, there's a potential risk of failure. So the whole idea of using a service like Fetch is to try and avoid the potential for problems that may occur through single point of failure. So fundamentally, that will evolve and continue to become more decentralized over time. There are some instructions in terms of how to set up a reporter. I think you guys are familiar with Gamma. Gamma's been doing a great job of educating the community in terms of how to do that. It's not a simple process, but we're looking to simplify that. And you'll hear more about Fetch in the future, but fundamentally the contracts and what we need to have spun up in terms of number of reporters, price feeds coming through, that has to happen before we can actually launch Liquid Loans. On that front, I should point out that the Liquid Loans audit is now complete. We're just waiting for the final report to be finalised, and we'll then make that available to the community. We're really happy, again, with the process that we've followed with the guys at Halborn, and the end result, I think, will be very pleasing to all, certainly pleasing to us, but we're certainly not far away. There will be some further announcements for other partnerships in the near future. Watch out for these. Look, we're really excited about one particular one, but it's still very early days. So we're in the process of going through all the commercial discussions with these partners. But fundamentally, I think you guys will be pretty excited of the outcome of that. But again, it's just early days and we need to work through those things, and we'll let you know about those in more detail in due course.